Well, hello everyone. I803866SX. And we, once again, have bone stock Dell on our desk. Why do we have bone stock Dell on our desk? Now, there was a live stream that kind of explained what was going to potentially happen with this machine. But in case you didn't watch it or you don't want to watch it, this machine is going to be my entry for Tech Ambrosia's Cheap PC Challenge. Yes, and you can go to subscribe to Tech Ambrosia. By the time this video is uploaded, the 2024 challenge will be pretty much over, but I'm sure she'll have other ones. So, how do we get into this challenge? Well, according to the rules of the challenge for 2024, as far as I know, there's 3 categories. There's the unlimited category, there's the spend under $100 category, or what this one's going to be enrolled in is the under $50 category. That does not include shipping costs, at least at this point it hasn't. So if you buy a machine for $2 and you pay $148 for shipping, as far as the rules go, you pay $2. That might change in the future. I don't make the rules, I just follow them. So, let's see what we got from ye old Dell, shall we? So, this is a Dell Optiplex 3020. Nice bone stock unit. And yes, you really have to provide the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, and the video card. Those are the big 4 here. And technically we got a package deal, so I hope we're not breaking any rules here. So I did buy the 4 necessary components on their own, and receipts are available as you wish. So, how much did the Dell itself cost me? Now, it came bare bones. It had no memory, had no CPU, no hard drive, nothing. You had to provide all that. So, this Dell itself cost me $11 plus shipping. But now we will go on to the rest of the video here. So, bear with me while I switch cameras. And here is the OS as you see. I originally tried... Oh, before I even get into that. Yes, this is a Windows 7/2008. And I'm willing to make a fairly confident statement that this machine is going to probably be the only server OS that we see here. The operating system was not discussed. It's like, oh, this software will run anything from Windows 2000 to 11, which there's some asterisks to that. And you could probably run it on Linux using Wine and Proton or whatever. I know enough to be dangerous in Linux. I don't do that kind of crazy work in Linux. So, but regardless, this 3D Mark 03, which is one of the 2 tools we have to run in order for this challenge, I could not get it to run for the life of me on server 2016 or server 2019. Program would just crash. Nothing would happen. Event log would say, oh, this DL crashed, whatnot. So, as a last-ditch effort, I installed server 2008 R2. And I'll explain that in a little while here, why we went with a server OS in lieu of Windows 7. So, to the device manager we go, and yes, there's some crap that's... hold on. I'm going to fix one other thing right now. This will be a nice, easy, peasy fix if we can get it to get that sound card to work like it's supposed to. And let's see. We are going to go change this to the automatic. And we should have sound now. Okay, great. I don't care about any of this crap. So, but yes, I go in here to display the graphics card, which is an AMD FirePro W4100. I can say one thing about AMD. A lot of people prefer their NVIDIA counterparts, but AMD has at least for the Fire Pro series, they have drivers explicitly for server builds. You get a 2016 driver, you get a 2019 driver, and that's why I went down the AMD route for graphics card. And that's the kicker. I ran this 3D Mark 03 on my NVR, which has the same exact graphics card, and it just worked. Go figure. So, AMD Fire Pro card cost me a grand total of $5. So that puts us up to $16. So, back to it a little bit here. We have 8 gigs of RAM, DDR3, and we have an Intel Core i5 4690 CPU in there. It originally came with an i3, according to the front of the machine, but this CPU was actually cheaper. But there's a little bit of a side effect. If I shut this machine down, it'll go as normal. If I restart it, it'll hang. Doesn't matter if you're going in the BIOS. It doesn't matter what OS you have on it. And the only fix is to get the i3 processor and update the BIOS, which I'm not going to bother with because we don't care. So, the processor was 10, the RAM was 2, and all my figures are in US dollars. So, for a grand total of $28 US dollars, yeah. If you can read the chicken scratch, that is what this build ultimately ended up costing. And this took a little bit of eBay scouring to find these parts. So, now, what am I going to do with this machine? First thing is first, we have to run this cinema bench. So we're going to do that. And it's a 64-bit operating system, so we're just going to run that. And there are 2 tests that we need to run. Per the instructions from Tech Ambrosia, we are going to do a single core test, or in the case, it's going to be the 1 CPU, and then we're going to try it again with all of them, the multi-core. So let us begin. This is the 1 processor test with my i5 4th generation 4690 at 350 megahertz. Did I say megahertz? Gigahertz, you know what I meant. And this is looking like a classic 1990s internet download. I will not expand on what the content typically would have been back in those days. I let that be up to your imagination. We're going to try and keep it PG tonight. And let me go get another notepad here so we can, or, you know, better yet. No, I need to handwrite this first. And as comic book guy would say, hurry up, I'm a busy man. Again, not going to expand on what he said. You can go watch that episode if you so wish. And let's just say if this is my picture downloading today, we need to talk to the Internet King. We need faster motorcycles. And to write delicious memos. So this is exciting. Just going to let it do its thing. And I'm going to multitask while this does its thing. And there you go. So we have a number. I'm going to guess it's probably this 7601 is the one we're going to have to submit. So now we are going to do the same exact thing, except we're going to press the button right below it. The X CPU. Multiple CPU render tool. Yeah, this is the Internet King version of rendering. 55404. Okay, apparently that's, I believe that's the number we need to write down. We shall see. So that concludes the CPU portion of this tour. So we're going to close out this program. And we are going to go with the one that I had a lot of fun getting to run on anything. This 3D Mark 03. These are the exact pieces of software that Tech Ambrosia has instructed us to use, so that's why we're using 03 and things that may be of questionable nature depending on who you ask. So, cool. So we are going to have to run games test 2 and 3. That is per the instructions of Tech Ambrosia. We're going to blow all these away because we do not care about them. And we are going to go press clear. And we are going to run 3D Mark. The final score on this one, and I'll review this at the end of the video. We take we add up the results from test 2 and 3, and we multiply it by 25. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. And then we're going to go on to the reason why we use Server 2008 for this build, and then, of course, I'm going to do a timeline by timeline thing, so we can prove that we actually did indeed use this unit for 14 straight days. That's very important for this challenge. I think the test runs for more than a minute, maybe 2 minutes. I don't remember the ins and outs of this test, but maybe a minute and a half. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Lord Troll's car. And yes, this is a 2 gig memory card on the graphics, the AMD FirePro W4100. DDR5, so not great by today's standards, but very serviceable for office work. You can hook up to 4 displays with this card without issue. I do believe it is Windows 11 compatible. And I screwed up my side project here, so I'm going to have to go revisit that. Oh well. And let's see what the results are here. Let's see what the details are. So we have 378.7 for test 2. And test 3 will be 277.9. So I believe we're supposed to multiply that by 25. So that concludes that. I will review that video of Tech Ambrosia's and make sure we have everything on a straight and narrow with that. So what in the wide world did I decide to go with a server OS? We are going to use this as an iSCSI device. You heard that right. It is absolutely going to be an iSCSI device. A temporary one. You see, I got some hard drives from BCF Midwest. My current server build has 8 320 gig drives, which are starting to get on the little over half full with that array. There was a gentleman there that was selling a set of 8 for $40. I snatched it up, and we are going to install them. So, but I need a place to put some of the storage. Now, if this fails miserably, I just restore from backup and be done with it. But if we can have this down to no downtime or very minimal downtime, that's what I'm going for here. So we need file services. And we need to, oh, maybe we can't on this. We might have to upgrade this server. Well, that's technically not against the rules, so we're just going to go ahead and upgrade this from server 2008 to 2012 R2. Unless I can find a way to make this an iSCSI storage unit. But yeah, it's not here. So yeah, that's going to kind of kill that. So until then, I'm going to put my highly technical notes on the side of the unit. I'll make sure I have that, read that direction correctly, and go from there. But yes, a big way to get your scores up with this is to use the machine every day for 14 days. You just got to use it for something. And this machine here is going to be the bread and butter of the whole, what am I saying? This is the whole bread and butter for this migration that I'm going to do. Like I said, if this goes terribly wrong, I always have backups to restore from. But until then, that is going to be it for this part of the tour. So, I don't know if this is going to be able to do the iSCSI service. There'll be an iSCSI target. I'm not sure what server 2008 R2's abilities are on that, or if we're going to upgrade the OS on it. And if you see something other than server 28 R2, then you know the answer. So, that is it for this portion of the video. We will be back with our next portion right now. All right, our final day is upon us. I originally did start recording this footage of using this day by day, but I was told that was not needed, so we are going to omit that. So, how did we do? A little more disappointing than what I'm seeing compared to other units, but we shall see. So, for the CPU, if I remember my history lesson correctly, you're combining the score of the single core test and all the cores test. In my case, I had a 4-core processor, and you add those two, and that's we got 33005. Your GPU score, using the 3D Mark, the 2003 variant, or the third variant, whatever it's officially called. 3D Mark 03. Okay, I'll stop being cute now. You're supposed to do tests 2 and 3. I don't know which one is test 2 or 3, but this is what I had. And that came up with multiplication of 25 between the two scores. I got a score of 16,465. In a usage bonus, you get 1,000 points per day, up to 2 weeks of usage. We did the slowest VMware migration known to man on this. Thankfully, it's just my home stuff. But hey, the hard drives are still kicking along. Everything looks good outside of a certificate problem that I can solve at any time. That's probably been there since February, so that's a few more days. So my grand total for my PC challenge, the cheap PC challenge, and I am officially going to put this in the $50 or less category, is 63,470. 63,470. That's our final grand total. I'm sure somebody else is going to enter something better. Because, well, I originally thought that there was going to be bonus points for coming under budget, but that is not the case this year, so it is what it is, but it is still eligible for $50 or less. This came to a grand total of $28 USD. I ended up not doing the flashing of the CPU like we're doing a BIOS upgrade, and there was a second CPU involved. I ended up not doing that. So, there's your cheap PC challenge 2024. Good luck to anyone that is entering as well. Might be a hair too late to do this for the 14-day usage, but you could easily put me under the floor if you act accordingly. So, Thank you for watching. Have a good one.